ناتالي مامو، أهلا وسهلا فيك. Thank you إليك for coming. كتير عم فكر بالانترو اللي بدي أقلك إياها. Then I thought إنه الشخص اللي قاعد قدام قديه بده يكون humble و down to earth لدرجة إنه أول ما حكيتك مع إنه ما في صداقة كان قبلنا بيني وبينك for you to accept هيك بسرعة on vacation بلبنان. Even though أنت شخص you've sat down كنا عم نحكي قبل شوي مع رونالدو، مارادونا، كاكا، توتي، even Michael Jordan, you've sat down with Michael Jordan at least, LeBron James كنت عم تحكي كمان، كلهم all these superstars in a way, and still ما عندك هيدا arrogance أو at least you have hell humbleness about you where you just accept it quickly. So thank you for that. It shows a lot of character.
No, I always say that no matter where we reach in life, I remember I came back from court. It started all on the basketball court, so I have no reason not to accept to be in a certain place, especially with people. I mean, I know you come from the same field, so akid, I'm also honored to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. العالم يمكن ما كتير بتعرف أنه you actually came from the court. يعني هلأ العالم especially the new generation بيشوفوا ناتالي مامو who's the sports presenter.
صح.
ما بيعرفوا أنه ناتالي مامو started in basketball and she comes from a basketball family.
It's true.
كيف بلشتي؟
جاد، أنا جاي من عائلة when basketball is everything. My grandfather كان لاعب باسكت وبعدين كان لاعب منتخب لبنان. بيي كان كمان لاعب باسكت بعدين لاعب منتخب لبنان وبعدين صار بالاتحاد وبعدين أنا هلا unfortunately نحن كنا بإيرا كان السوشيال ميديا مش كتير مثل هلا, so not everybody knows that I used to play professionally basketball. I made it as the youngest player to ever join the national team at the age of 13. We won. هلا تسأبني كان يعني بفترة وين كان يمكن I was lucky to play with the best basketball players. يعني كنا generation لعبنا مع بعض نحن وصغار for 10 years we were undefeated. إن كانت بطولة عربية على صعيد الأندية, إن كانت بطولة عربية ومنتخبات غرب آسيا. أول منتخب طلع من ديفيجن بي على ديفيجن A. كنا نحن هاي مجموعة البنات اللي عملوا كل هالشي بلبنان. وما فينا أنسى كمان وقت نادي الحكمة أسس فريق البنات على أيام أنطوان شويري الله يرحمه, كان أول فريق بيربح بطولة عربية وجاب لعيبة WNBA. So I played in an era when basketball عند البنات كان at the top ويمكن فليت بكير بس I فليت after having done everything I wanted to do.
لما تحكي عن هالإيرا قصدك يعني الإيرا تبع شادة ناصر, نيلة جارودة,
نيلة علم الدين جارودة, أنا بعرف علم الدين, تمارا خليل, شيرين شريف بعدها عم تلعب. We were a group of players. هلا أنا كنت أصغر منهم بس نحن كبرنا مع بعض من منتخب النشآت, حتى بالجامعة لعبنا مع بعض, بالAB بالأنترانيك لعبنا مع بعض, بالمنتخب أنا رحت على الرياضة at some point, بس كنا مع بعض through 10 years. و I think هيدا اللي عملنا اللي حققناه مع بعض كان يمكن أول مرة بتحقق, وما بعتقد كان في هيدا الستريتش تبع 10 سنين فريق مثل هيدا ما خسر شيء ever يعني, غير يمكن بطولات آسيا أو بطولة الفرنكوفونية وقت لعبنا مع المنتخبات أكبر, بس على الصعيد المحلي والعربي والغرب آسيوي ما خسرنا ولا مرة.
كنت عم تحكي about being from a basketball family, جاي من عائلة من الباسكت. بعرف أنه أنت بلشت بالكهرباء. مزبوط. ما بعرف إذا مزبوط الخبرية, بس سمع أنه actually ما كان في فريق بنات وكنت تلعب مع الشباب.
مزبوط. ما كان في فريق بنات, كنت مش بس ألعب مع الشباب, كنت أول شيء كنت استحق ألعب لأن كنت كتير صغيرة, كان عمري شي 10 سنين. كنت اتفرج عليهم عم بيلعبوا, بتذكر كان في روني فهد among many others. وعى بكير كان عندي مفتاح النادي, وعى شي ساعة 6-7 قبل ما هني بلشوا يجوا, قلد مثلا شو عملوا مثلا between the legs behind the back, اتمرن. هلا روني كان يجي من بعد كمان بكير كان يتمرن عليه, اسمه بكير كتير اسمه. روني was one of the most hard-working players I've ever met in my life. So this is how I built a skill. مشان هيك على عمر كتير صغير أول شيء تلعب مع الصبيان, مع فرق الصبيان. بعدين اجا كوتش شفيع يلي عنده فضل كتير كبير علي, قال لي انه بدنا نعمل فريق بنات. ما عجبني, ما بدي, كنت بدي العب مع الصبيان. So this is how I started. و at some point بتذكر نادي الكهرباء عمل restructure لأن سكروا النادي. So وقتها اشتريت سلة شيكو بلاستيك, حطيتها بالباركينج حد البيت, وكنت هيك بنت صغيرة أنا أقرر مين أنت بتلعب أنت ما بتلعب, وما فيني أقول لك قد إيه في لعيبة قطعوا بهالباركينج وصاروا يمكن بعدين لعيبة هلا يعني عم بيلعبوا. So this is how I learned from the boys, and I started at a very young age. عم بلعب بالدرجة الأولى, كان عمري 11 سنة بس لعبت بالدرجة الأولى. and this is how I made it far يمكن at a young age.
بس at 11 you're actually playing أو كنت عم تتمرن بالفرقة؟
ليك بيصير في انسيدنت صار وما بنسي بحياتي. كان عمري 11 سنة، لا كنت عم بلعب كنت فوت اوقات 6 مان أو second change مع الفريق. بتذكر كان عمري 11 وكنا عم نلعب مع فريق الأنطراني. كان فريق الكهرباء بعده طالع على الدرجة الأولى وكان يخلص الجيم شي 30-40 نقطة. وبتذكر طلب مرة فت على الملعب وأسونا زي انترد كنت عمري 11 سنة ما بربط شعراتي. كانوا يسموني تارزن وقتها. كانوا I think my eyes and my haircut. طلب الكوتش تايم اوت، كان كوتش رورو يمكن أو ساكو ما بتذكر، وطلب من البنات ما يعملوا علي ديفنس إنه let this cute girl score. Which I did the first time, I did the second time. وبعدين بتذكر غنوة قباني ونالي صار بيخبروا القصة. I just stopped the game. I didn't like it. I'm like, if you're not going to defend me أنا ما حأتحسن. And 2 years after that incident I was with these girls in the national team. So this is how I remember إنه لا بلشت كان عمري 11 as this little girl, and in no time I was teammates in the national team with these women. So yeah.
بس انت اخذتيها هيك انه انا مثل ما انت عم تخبر الخبريه I took it in a way not in a disrespectful way بس actually maybe انه هن كجيم plan actually they don't know you or let's not defend her.
There's no such thing in sports. There's no don't defend her, let her score. I don't take it in this way. I was very competitive من أنا صغيرة يعني كتير. I think مشان هيك وصلت بحياتي. It's always been something that I want to make it on my own and not the easy way. I just want to make it the right way. So وقتها يمكن أخذتها إنه أوكي حطيت أول سلة تاني سلة طب وبعدين just defend me now يعني.
Okay.
So that was the moment.
طب بس not هلا هيك looking back at your career in a way. Was it يعني at this age بهالعمر اللي كنت انت فيه was it your dream انه تطلع professional basketball player او دايما كنت تحلمي انه تصيري commentator؟
لا commentator was
مش
not
مش commentator my
or sports presenter. No, it was never in my plan. أنا دايما بقول إنه أنا I've never chosen this profession. It chose me وقتها يعني ما اخترت بحياتي مهنة تقديم الرياضة. هالمهنة هي اختارتني by pure coincidence. مش pure coincidence لأنه كنت ألعب باسكت. كنت أطلع on shows at a very young age. يعني كنت أطلع بشوز برامج هيك أوقات fun stuff أوقات تحليلية أوقات sports shows. And then بتذكر بس فتحت ال MTV إجوا لعندي they're like we want you to be the first woman to present sports. وأنا وقتها my Arabic was really bad. Like ما بحكي عربي تبع التلفزيون. I had a French accent ورفضت وقتها. They're like, try, you're going to be the first woman to present sports. And this is what ticked in my head. I wanted to be the first woman. And I said yes to a job I had absolutely no idea how to do. And في كتاب مرة قريته and when you don't know how to do something just say yes and learn. And it was exactly what happened to me. It's مش هيك دايما بقول إنه أنا what I am today is started on court. يعني لو ما كنت ألعب باسكت وما عملت طلعت على هالبرامج وما وصلت على المنتخب وما حققت اللي حققته وما كنت بحياتي طلعت على التي في وما كنت وصلت لي هيدي الفرصة. So it all started by pure my goal in life as a basketball player was wanting to make it as far as I can. It was never to become a sports presenter.
So basically عم تحكي هلا عن شغلة كنت بدي أسألك إياها right after it. قديش basketball has affected your professional career in a way?
In every way, not just my professional career. Basketball shaped me into the person I am today. And I repeat and say this always. Sometimes I do talks with a lot of, recently with the NBA, junior NBA. Basketball as a game, it's not about becoming a champion, whether you have a trophy or a medal. لأنه it has a lot to teach you on court, whether from the discipline, the commitment, the leadership skill, the communication you build, the teamwork. Take this and apply it anywhere else in life. You will become a champion in life and not just on court. So this is how it affected me. I had this mentality as أنا صغيرة. I don't know where it came from, but it's just everything I took from this game. I applied it in my life and I still apply it on every day. And this is how you just make it.
كتير حبيت اللي عم تقولي. دايما بنحكي عن هالموضوع especially for female sports, for women's sports actually. إنه it's not only about becoming professional in your domain. It's not only about making money later on. لأنه I'm pretty sure هلا إذا بتطلع لورا يمكن you didn't make much money if money at all يعني in that era. بس الpositives والattributes اللي بيطلعوا لك من team sports أول شيء ومن sports in general, dedication, discipline, all of these kind of stuff. هدول they stay with you for the rest of your life. And this is what is really essential for girls, especially young girls in our society, to go into sports.
It's true. It's just مش بس going into sports requires a lot of sacrifice. أنا بتذكر أنا بس كنت ألعب مع المنتخب كنت بعاني بالمدرسة أو بالجامعة يعني كان يسافر المنتخب أنا معي سكادول المدرسة كانوا يفوتوا يناموا مثلا الساعة 10 كيرفيو أنا أدرس يوم الساعة 8 أو الساعة 6 تأدرس. I had to leave early. I had to do my exams ahead of time. I had to do a lot of sacrifices and صراحة كتير أوقات من حياتنا you just have to say no to a lot of things, to most of the things. But you do it with a lot of pleasure and then your priorities change, the way you view life changes. You are built in a certain way when everything gets easier من بعدها. So أنا مش بس عم بحكي عن basketball, any kind of sports, and I push women into that because it shapes you into becoming a person that sees right and wrong so easily, and you just grow into, I don't know, like you feel so in control of yourself, and if you do it right. ما بقول إنه كل شخص في كتير ناس بيروحوا بالطريق الغلط. But I think it's a choice because sports gives you what it needs and it's up to you to choose how to use it in your life. So I took everything good out of this game besides the trophies and the medals and the titles and I apply it in my life every single day. مشان هيك بشجع كل بنت كل شخص كل شاب كل every single boy, even people at this age, they should get into sports because it just puts you on the right track بلا ما أنت تعرف.
Nat, do you have any regrets? إنه كنت عم تقول إنه you sacrificed a lot. Do you have any regrets إنه you missed out on a good part of your teenage years يمكن in a way?
No regrets whatsoever at all. I didn't miss out. You know, you can balance in a way. بس لا ما بندم. أكيد في كتير ظهرات ما رحت عليها. في كتير سفرات راح عليها. نحن عشنا من بطولة لمنتخب back to back summer winter عم تلعب باسكت. So I didn't have a lot of free time. I remember يعني my ex-boyfriends used to be jealous of basketball يعني ما كانوا يفهموا تبنات قفة لا you can't ما فيك تقفة قفة تمرين قفة match it's okay. It's not okay. It's not how it goes. And I did every sacrifice with a lot of pleasure and I'll do it all over again if I have to.
This is why the support system is very important also. يعني your partner in life, he needs to understand, especially for a woman. بتخيل يمكن كرمال هيك إذا you look at all the big CEOs in the world يلي هن female CEOs بيكونوا أو their marriage isn't working أو they're single people لأنه it's hard للمجتمع اللي عايشين فيه especially تقدر يتقبل أنه المرأة أول شيء يمكن معقول تكون she has a higher position than him and two she's not always available.
It's true. It's something very true what you're saying. لأنه في مجتمع بعده بيطلع على المرأة إنه خلاص ماشي الحال ما ضروري هالقد تضحي يعني just do it على الخفيف. And it's not true because women made it to the top, like to the highest positions. So the same sacrifices a man would do, she would do, and everything he can do, she can do as well. And أنا بحكي هيك كتير لأنه I was part of those barriers that were broken, especially in my field. A lot of barriers had to be broken. A lot of barriers had to have the first Arab woman to do it. And I was so blessed and lucky to be that person. So I'm a big, no, I wouldn't say feminist, but I'm somebody who pushes women to go to a lot of places حتى when, because I was faced a lot by stuff like this is a man's world. There's no such thing. There's no man's world. There's a world where a woman has every space to come in and prove herself, and if given the chance she will. So thank God I had this opportunity. I took it and I placed myself maybe as the first woman to do so. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of women, especially in sports.
I approve what you're saying. I like what you're saying. ودايما أصلا نحكي on these episodes إنه we need more female, especially in our Arab world, in our society, in sports. عايزين بنات أكتر as coaches, as reporters, as managers, حتى as referees. We need in politics also. We need more women. الريت عم بيعلى شوي بس ما بفتكر بعنا we're up to the level where فينا نتطلع مثلا انه for example منتخب البنات يكون عنده مثلا كوتش بنت at least او assistant coaches مع الشباب مع منتخب الشباب.
Again Jad, it will all start by giving her an opportunity. يعني هيدي البنت اللي انت ناطرة تصير على كوتش منتخب لبنان بدك first تعطيها فرصة تكون كوتش منتخب درجة أولى, and then this is how it goes. It has to start with someone opening the door or believing in her, whoever she is. So it's the mentality that has to change in this country تشوف أكتر وأكتر. When I started بالMTV بتذكر in 6 months every channel بلبنان صار عندها بنت بتذيع sports. I was the first on MTV وبعد 6 أشهر ما في محطة بلبنان ما صار عندها حدا بيذيع أخبار like a woman doing so. So it just needs one person and then it will spread because once بتذكر كمان بس بلشت so many times I was dealt with this شو فهمها هيدا بسبار and it's and especially على الأخبار your time to prove your credibility is so small, and your space, it's your upper body speaking, it's your face, and you have to sound credible in so little time. I think because I was an athlete and I was already knowledgeable about sports, but women يعني besides the fact that they're in a position مثل اللي عم بيطلعوا عليه magnified إنه يلا هلا حتغلط هلا شو فهمها هلا مدري شو ناطرينها على الدائرة, so it's a much bigger challenge than a man in a certain position. But someone has to eventually believe in her, give her a chance, and then she will prove herself.
Especially before social media كمان. يعني هلا على السوشيال ميديا يمكن العالم إذا أنت بعدك شي مبلشة بيعرفوكي أكتر لأنه you have a platform in a way. فيك تحكي صار عندك more credibility. بس أول ما تطلع على التي في العالم اللي ما بيحضروا female basketball ما بيعرفوا مين كانت ناتالي مامو. So معك حق اللي عم بتقوليه إنه you had a short period of time to show إنه أنت you're credible actually. كمان العالم يصير يسمعوا لك and what you're saying is actually credible.
Because I was in a position where I had to speak about everything, about football, about tennis. أنا أول امرأة حكيت عن WWE بالعالم العربي. وأنا back then I didn't know what it stood for. WWE, I didn't know what it means. I just took the job because I wanted to break that barrier. I wanted to be the first woman to do so. And I do. I take these challenges for a reason. And alhamdulillah, I was blessed today to say I worked for the NBA, I worked for the FIFA, I worked for WWE, I worked for the biggest organization of sports, but with one mission. I wanted to be the first Arab to do so. And alhamdulillah, after the first, there's a second, and there's a third, and there's a fourth. So there always has to be one person to open the door and open the path.
مش بس you broke barriers actually. هلا عم فكر فيها انه الباريرز صاروا شوي in an opposite way. يعني اذا بنطلع على MTV مش معقول يكون بقى في ريبورتر in basketball غير ما تكون بنت. يعني بطل في ريبورترز شباب actually. So انت مش بس you broke the barriers, you changed the barriers.
Thanks. I always say إنه إذا بحب أقول شيء بحياتي إنه to look back and say I've made a change. صراحة كل حدا نجا على MTV, I give them a lot of credit. Like a lot of women came after me and they're amazing. They're doing amazing right now. I made it far. Sandine Jabra made it far. Gaga right now is somebody I respect a lot. I love a lot. Lama, my teammate, كمان she was given a chance.
Rio also مسلم now in the World Cup.
Rio is one of the best football analysts today.
That's
so a lot of respect for all these women that were given a chance, and I don't think most of them never disappointed. That's why all it takes is just believe in her once.
مزبوط. في ستيفاني سعد also كانت على BN.
صح, ورجعت راحت على سكاي نيوز I think.
بفتكر كانت سكاي نيوز راحت على BN.
probably I don't know.
كانت سكاي نيوز أنا كنت أطلع على سكاي نيوز أحكي باسكت كنت هي تحكيني and now راحت على BN كرمال الورد كاب. ما بعرف إذا حتضلها بالBN بس إنه at least صار عندهم this big platform إنه for a reporter يروح على الورد كاب مع BN. As a football reporter, that's the ultimate goal. ما في شيء بقى أعلى من هيك. So معك حق كتير باللي عم تقوليه إنه in breaking barriers. Huge credit أكيد لك و huge credit لكل الفيميلز يلي عم بيكونوا they're working hard, they're proving إنه لا كمان البنات فيهم يحكوا on sports.
لا of course. أنا اليوم بقول المرأة صار مش بس فيها تحكي sports, she can commentate in sports, she can analyze sports, she can present sports, she can do everything in sports, and she can even do it sometimes better than men, with all due respect. So there's nothing in the world today that if he can do it, she cannot do it.
لا أكيد. لا I'm pretty sure about it.
Yeah.
لأنه eventually إذا أنت بتفهمي باسكت regardless if you're a man or a woman. regardless of your age also. يعني كل هدول القصص أكيد بفضل ناتالي مامو يلي كانت at least تلعب باسكت. انسى أنه إذا أنت ريبورتر أو لا, كنت تلعب باسكت in a professional way, مال عليك professional coaches. أكيد رح تكون عندك basketball IQ, بتفهمي باسكت أكتر من حدا بس بيحضر باسكت بس he never went through this whole system أو the whole cycle of being a professional player under professional coaches and guidance.
I always say sports is a language, and being an athlete makes you the closest possible to this language. يعني بيقولوا لي دايما what it takes to be a good sports journalist. Okay, it takes a lot to be credible, to be humble, to be knowledgeable, but it takes, like, you have to be human. And as a player, I understand the language of these players. You understand what they go through, and it's an entire language of loss and victory and agony and if you know it, you just translate it better. So I think وقت واحد يكون كان لاعب سابق, it makes him a step closer to being a successful commentator or sports presenter.
أكيد. Even as a coach, I think
100%.
being a coach إذا كنت قبل لعيب, you can understand the ego management و how players think. كيف بدك to manage all these kind of characters, different characters in a way. هذا اللي بيلعب, هذا اللي ما بيشوت, اللي جاي معصب, اللي جاي زعلان إذا ما لعب منيح, always playing for the next contract. So being a coach إذا كنت being an ex-player as a coach, it gives you a big advantage over others
100%,
also.
100%, I agree with this.
ناتالي كنت عم تحكي قبل شوي أنه لما رحت على MTV first time you said no and then you agreed. عبالي أعرف منك الستريس levels تبع being in front of a camera bigger or smaller than the stress that you get when you were playing basketball?
It's different. Stress of playing basketball is adrenaline. It's something I was addicted to. وصراحة بس بلشت على MTV I wouldn't say I was a good presenter. My Arabic used to be shitty. Like صراحة بتذكر أول مرة طلعت على MTV كان لازم أنا أكتب أخباري وما كنت أحكي عربي ما حتى كنت أعرف استعمل الكلافيه بالعربي. كان لازم أقول لايف الساعة 8 وعيد الساعة 3 الصبح رحت كنت بعد مسكرة النيوز روم قعدت just to find الألف والباء والتاء just to write my news. And I remember so well أول مرة طلعت على الهوا how it felt when I went off air. It's something that you feel that I don't know. It's the same. It's addiction. You can become addicted to being on air. And أنا شخص بالحياة I'm a completely different person when I'm on a camera. And some people look at me بيقولوا شو بكي بدالك معصبة أو شو بكي أو شو بتستحي أو I don't know. On camera I'm a completely different person and I don't know what it gives you. It just gives you a certain strength as soon as you're on. And even live I'm better than مسجل. I don't know what it is. When you're live you just perform much better. And it's addictive. If you're on for 5 minutes, you want 10. If you're on for 10, you want an hour. If you just want a lot of this. So it's very much similar and the adrenaline rush. هلا صراحة the adrenaline of for me of being on stage in front of people is bigger than being on a camera لأن تعودت كتير على الكاميرا. I love seeing people in front of me. But nothing beats a big game for me.
Okay. So no stress actually. يعني هلا ما في عندك stress لما تطلع on stage in a way of stress.
ليك ما بكذب عليك مش في stress قد ما عندي صارت مثل system before coming on a big event. I somehow numb myself because as a presenter going live on all over the world ما pas droit à l'erreur يعني ما عندك ممنوع تغلط. So during that day I have a certain way of being that I don't allow anything negative to come in my life. Anything ما في شيء بيعمل لي يأثر فيه. That day I'm in my zone until I finish with these. The first 10 seconds of getting on stage still feel like you just it's just about the music, having them in the ear, 10, 9, go, shut, silence, good luck, and then you go in, and then in these 10 seconds, تتذكر إنه I'm hosting the Globe Soccer Award. Like it's these 10 seconds. I do get emotional sometimes, بعدين خلاص you're in a different mode and خلاص until you're done, and then maybe you ترجع you break, بس you have to do this وإلا ما بتزبط.
كنت عم تحكي هلا سوري قطشتك أو لا؟
No, go ahead.
كنت عم تحكي أنه there's no room for error as a presenter. شي مرة صار معك شي error in a way مش ما بدي أقولك مثل ستيف هارفي تبع إنه he actually decided another miss world. بس شي مرة صار معك هيك شي كتير كبير that you will always remember?
لا honestly الحمد لله I've never done any wrong mistakes and I hope I will never do. في كم مرة بيكون mistakes مثلا بيفوت في البرومبتر you have to improvise بتقدم حدا ما بيطلع and then you have to fill in the gap. بس إنه big mistake هيك عامل interview سمي حدا باسمه الغلط أو I don't know مثل عامل ستيف هارفي لا الحمد لله يعني مع إنه في كتير أوقات you're in a place where you can do big mistakes but you have to be so much in control of the rundown. I have a way of يعني of going on stage. Yeah, once I go on stage لو شو ما صار I have it in my head. I have it already. I do my homework before. So I think it lessens the chances of me going wrong.
Okay, at least not from a technical point of view. إذا صار معك شيء technical point يعني technical error أو هيك.
الشغلة الوحيدة اللي بقول أوقات إنه أنت on a big day like when you're hosting something going live everywhere you're not allowed to be human. You're not allowed to be sick. You're not allowed to be sad. You're not allowed to have a heartbreak. You're not allowed to be depressed. You can't be all these things. Sometimes يكون واحد مريض and you just have to act like you're the strongest person in the world. Sometimes you're suffering from a heartbreak and you have to just get on there smile.
It's like sports in a lot of way يعني.
It is like sports in a lot of way. It is
definitely. فيها مثلا إذا أنت عم تلعب finals game و you're sick أو whatever heartbreak حدا مزعلك problem in the family whatever ما فيك تطلع بين هالأربع زياح in these 40 minutes أو 90 minutes football game and not being able to zone out. You have to zone everything out. وبفتكر كرمال هيك basketball prepared you for this phase of your life like this.
بس فيني لك شيء أنت بتقول you have to zone out. I always say basketball هو that it used to zone me out.
Not for everyone بس not. For you.
No بتذكر كنت أقول بفترة من حياتي بس كنت لعب باسكت I used to feel invincible لأنه no matter what happens in my day I know in these 2 hours رح يجي شيء and it will flush everything out. يعني هول الساعتين اللي بلعب فيهم باسكت شو ما كان قاطع فيه بحياتي قبل حس إنه مثل خلص you just flushed everything and you get out of court like a completely new person. ما في شيء بيزعلني, ما في شيء بيكسرني, ما في nothing. I was so strong during that phase, strong mentally I mean, in my head that I felt that everything, like I was invincible in my life. I was so focused that I miss it so much now. I don't have this right now. The stage doesn't replace this. The camera does not replace this. Nothing replaces what this game used to give me.
Then it was therapy for you.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah. It was more than that. Part of it was therapy. It was my passion. It was my goal. It was so many things. That's why بقول أنا it just shaped me in so many ways. يعني كل شيء عشته as a player, as a part of a team, everything. I just took so much from this game and I'm applying it in my life, and it just made me in big part who I am today.
Not after MTV, you went to Sky, Shake?
Yeah.
Okay, you went to Sky News as a reporter, sports reporter.
As a sports presenter.
Presenter.
Yeah.
Over what? ما بعرف.
I was presenting the morning show. I was presenting the bulletins every. I was never a reporter. صراحة on TV I was never a reporter. ما كنت غطي أبدا على الأرض. كان عندي المورنينج شو, كان عندي الأخبار الرياضية اللي كنت عم بعملها like every 45 minutes. كان في نشرة أخبار عم بسكاي نيوز. I did this for 4 years. وin parallel اجاني اقدم the biggest TV reality show produced for football which was called The Victorious. كان exactly زي format Star Academy بس للفوتبول, and it was judged by Diego Maradona and all the football stars. عملت 3 seasons منهم. دايما نقول كنت هيلدا تبع البرنامج. So تعرفت بهيدا الشو على it was my first encounter with all the big football players. عم بحكيك من مارادونا, رونالدو, رونالدينيو, ديل بييرو, like you name them, all the class A players back then. And it just, from there, it just kept on going.
That's amazing. عم بتخيل أكيد الله يرحمه مارادونا, بس عم بتخيل قديش كانت حلوة بالنسبة لشخص, لمرة عربية لبنانية من لبنان تكون on stage مع دييغو مارادونا, who's one of the greatest to ever, مش to play football, one of the greatest athletes of all time.
He is definitely. وبتعرف it's so funny وقت بلش The Victorious I was not meant to be on stage as the co-host. I was meant to do the dailies. كان في dailies. There was a part behind the scene بس كانوا ينزلوا. Halfway through the show I was added to the stage the year after. I was the one hosting it. So it was also a challenge I had to fight for. لأنه كان في بس بتذكر رجال سعودي هو عم بيقدم الشو. And halfway through I was added, and then the next season I was the one hosting season 2 and season 3. Going back to Diego, it was a big challenge لأنه دييغو ما بيحكي إنجليزي. So
nobody does Argentinian.
communication كان I good you good me good. يعني هيك كنا نقضيها. وبعدين معروف إنه هو بحب النسوان كتير, بحب البنات. فإذا معصب دييغو, which is most of the times معصب, نتالي روح احكي مع دييغو, نتالي روح يرادد دييغو, something like that. So it was a nice, لأنه by the end of the day أول شيء بتشوفه دييغو مارادونا, بس by the end of the day you just look at him as another human being. بس looking back at it, I had the chance to, بتذكر I was flipping the ball, هو عم برقص طابة, and I'm like أنا عم بلعب فوتبول مع دييغو, I'm like giving headers to each other. I was humbled by a lot of these moments in my life. That these, يعني مثل ما بتاخد قصص من الملعب معك, these are the stuff I'll take with me from my career.
نتالي بالفيكتوريوس بهذا البروجرام شو في شيء غير قصة انه تعرفت على دييغو مارادونا بعده علقان فيك ورح تضلك متذكرتيه for the rest of your life؟
جاد هيدا البروجرام أنا بقول كان بروجرام إنساني بالنسبة إلي قبل ما يكون رياضي, لأنه اللي حشته على هالبرنامج أول شيء هو كنا نروح بكاستينج تور على كل البلاد العربية تنقي تالنتس يجوا ويقعدوا بالأكاديمي. I used to travel for 1 month, كل 3 أيام على بلد. The stuff I used to see how bad these young kids, يلي القصص يعني تشوف واحد مثلا قبل بنهار نام بالمقابر because he wanted to do the casting. واحد ما بقى كنت اسمع قصص قول مش معقول. Some people how bad they wanted to just make it in life and in sports. بعدين اللي بعيشوا معهم بالأكاديمي اللي عشتوا عن جد يعني في ما بدي حتى تحت في تعتير, بس في رغبة واحد يوصل فيه عن جد. عالم بتضحي بطرق, بتروح على البيت تشكر ربك for the little things. and I really lived a lot of moments في prime ما بنسي حياتي. I cried on stage. They never shut the camera, they never stopped it, they kept it on. It was the most viewed حلقة of the show. It was a very intense moment with the kid and his بدك بخبرك شو القصة. It was one of the kids طلع nominee.
So هي سوري بس العالم يفهموا هو الشو It's like Star
Academy. فهو كان نوميني هيدي الجمعة وكان الربحان بيربح آخر شي $100,000 وكونترا مع كان اسمه بندر. وانا كنت حب فوت هيدي قلت الانترفيو بس بحب اسمع لان انا كنت فوت لعندهم اقول لهم مين النوميني. انا كان لازم بكيهم كان لازم العب دور الثقيله واعرف عنهم عن جد. I used to play a very bad role but at the same time I was the big sister بغير محلات. سو بندر كان بده يربح $100,000 لانه بيو هو جاي من عائله ما هن 8 وبيو ما بيمشي كل حياته فهو كل حياته بيهتم ببيو وامه توفت وهو عم يبكي وانا عم ببكي بهالاوضه. طلعت من الروم رحت على البرودكشن قلت لهم guys this guy is not gonna win. He comes from Saudi. عملوا ريبورت بالحلقه في حدا شو بده يعمل عمليه وبده يعمر بيت ومش فاهمين شو $100,000 يعني. هو كنت اكيده انه في حدا بيتبرع انه يعمل العمليه وقطع وقت وساعد الجمهور. طلع نوميني جمعه من بعدها بقي. anyway there was one of those primes. قالوا له بدنا نعمل له سيربريز لبندر ومدري شو. حطوا هذا الريبورت. بتعرف الريبورت هذا اللي بيجي مع ميوزيك وكله بيبكي اخر شيء. بالريبورت انا كنت اوريدي عم ببكي. مارادونا عم بيبكي. كان في تاني ما اذر كو هوست ما كان عم بيبكي بس كله خلص مود المحل عم بيبكي. بيفوت خيو لبندر يلي مدري قد ايه له مش شايفه وبهاي الثانيه بيجي لعندي بيقولوا لي بداينتي ناتالي نحن نديك انفلوب بدك تروحي تعطيها لبندر بس هو بده يقريها مش انت. وهو بندر كان يخاف مني لان الانفلوب يعني انه هو نوميني يوجوالي. وانا بقرر اقرا الانفلوب قبل ما اوصل لعنده which said Victorious سيتبرع باجراء العمليه لوالدك. هلا برجع بحكي it was so emotional then that I couldn't. I cried. He cried. Maradona was crying. وهون بدايت ما don't stop هذا المخرج ما بده. وخلاص صار ما عملوها شغله انه every other prime I was emotional because I'm human like and I love sports. So it was a moment I will never forget. لأن بنيته لبندر على شي سنة اهتم فيه يعني بس بعدين خلص it gets a toll on you. So it was a very intense show that I take so much out of. غير إنه تعرفت على كل شي لعيبة فوتبول بس عن جد هو شو كان إنساني أكتر ما يكون رياضي.
كيف you can change lives هيك out of something إنه أنت رحت قلت للبرودكشن إنه لازم نهتم فيه.
not just me. هو شو اللي حيعيشون شي هلا حرام لأنه بيفوتوا بيعيشوا شي شهرين بعد شوي بيرجعوا على الرياليتي اللي عايشين فيها. It's very tough. بس إنه عن جد so little things can make a big difference in
exactly. بتعرفي شو أنا عم بذكريني إنه there is so many emotions بالسبورتس. صار لي أنا I'm a big Messi fan وأرجنتينا fan obviously. أرجنتينا fan لأنه I'm a Messi fan. وصار لي من نهار الأحد من الفينال وورلد كاب
كلنا
كل شوي نتالي صرت حاضر يمكن صرت صارف شي 100 جيجا بهالجمعة بس ريلز وفيديوز على السيلبريشنز تبع الأرجنتين. و seeing how emotional people are. عم بيقولوا مثلا امبارح كان في 4 ملايين شخص ببوينوس ايرس ناطرين الباريد. عم شوف فيديوز مثلا ما بعرف اذا شفتيه الاثنين الكبار بالعمر
على
البالكون هو بيكون اعمى سو عم بيغنوا له. all these kind of stuff. قديش football can be life changing without the athlete او sometimes the reporter even knowing.
like the other day مش من زمان عملت شيء للماراثون بحملة أنا بيروت and I said which is something I repeat إنه الرياضة هي اللغة الوحيدة اللي بلبنان احنا خلت ذوق مكيل يحمس علي ومدينة الرياضية تقول إليه يعني it has a strength that nothing in the world has. It's the only thing that can unify an entire nation in just one game or just one victory. And I don't think anything else has this power.
That's so true. كان معي بفتكر إلي شامون كان عم بيحكي ديك المرة أو كريم زينون actually كان عم بيقولوا لي إنه أكتر شيء كان motivation اللي لهم بالمنتخب لما كانوا عم بيلعبوا بطولة آسيا كان the fact إنه لما يكون مثلا في جيم على الساعة 3 أو 4 بعد الظهر للمنتخب كانوا يعرفوا إنه تبع الموتورات مش عم بيقننوا الموتور بقى كمان يقدروا العالم يحضروا. يعني sometimes شغلة كتير بسيطة it was motivational enough لهذا الشباب يضلوا يقاتلوا كمان يضلوا عم يربحوا يلعبوا ببطولة آسيا كرمال أهاليهم وعيالهم وأصحابهم بلبنان يقدروا يعيشوا ساعتين زيادة مع كهرباء.
على كل حال اللي عملوه المنتخب هالسنة was also beyond sports and beyond basketball. يعني it was a movement بالبلد. They became symbol of hope to a lot of people. So عن جد أنا of course I'm a big fan of basketball, but this national team on its own, what they did and what they is very big, and it went really beyond sports and beyond basketball.
I agree. بفتكر المنتخب ومياس this summer.
صح.
In one of the darkest times تبع لبنان يمكن كانوا a light of hope.
Definitely.
In a lot of ways. So I do agree. نتالي بدي أعرف منك شغلة إنه obviously football و basketball are very big in Lebanon. So نشوف ناتالي مامو being a star in these two categories is very understandable. بس كيف ناتالي مامو انتقلت من الباسكت والفوتبول تتروح على WWE even though انت بالك قلتي لي انه ما كنت تعرفي حتى what WWE meant. يعني بحس انه ناتالي ما كنت عارفة انه في WWE يلي هي كانت WWF. يعني يمكن you felt انه there is two
were
entities.
two things. هو لا هي WWF صارت اسمها WWE. Listen, it came at a time where I wanted change. What the offer came at a time. كنت بعدني لي 4 سنين بسكاي نيوز. I wanted a change. It was the first Arab show ever produced. And I was أصلاً بضحك لأنه any person who works for WWE صار عنده ring name. يعني أنا عندي ring name WWE اليوم. I became the face of WWE in the region بالعالم العربي. I'm the face on social media, on the show, and it was the first ever Arab show to produce, and I was the first woman to ever talk about WWE in the Arab region. And being the person I am, I heard this like I want to do it. I want to be that person. So I took the challenge. وبتذكر يعني هلا إذا بسمي لك إياهم I don't know if you know them, بس بالنسبة لي كلهم شبه بعضهم. ما كنت بعرف شو هن. اليوم I look back, I have 5 years of archive of every single WWE show translated in Arabic. لأنه أنا this is how I do. I watch the show, I write it down, I improvised the show. كنت أطلع على الشو ما عندي script, ما عندي شيء. I had to improvise 30 minutes on air of doing the roundup. And this is how I did it. And now I don't think I can be challenged because I know every single step that happened in بآخر 5 سنين لهلا بعالم WWE. And كمان اللي عشته إنه أنا بتخيل حالي بحياتي فاتي على WWE ring which I did. أو عم بحكي مع all these celebrities interviewing them from Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul اللي هلا كان بالسعودية, you name them, all of them, John Cena, The Rock, Roman Reigns.
You've met The Rock.
I mean, I've seen him from. I didn't interview him. He was where I am. The Undertaker. كلهم هولي أنا بحكيهم قدام ما كنت أعرفهم, بس هلا بقولوا لي بحكي قدام حدا بيقول لي مثلا جدك إني شوف الأندرتيكر وجد. It's nice, and I'm also happy to have been part of it. Now it's still part of my life. It's not everything I do, but it's still like I still am the face of WWE in the Arab world.
Do you think لأنه obviously WWE there is a script, it's scripted. العالم اللي ما بتعرف there is a script.
Yeah, it is scripted. It's fixed entertainment. لأنه في ناس بيقولوا لك مزبوط هيدا بيمثلوا هيدا كله تمثيل. هن ما عم بيجربوا يقنعوا على العالم إنه هو مزبوط, بس زي ما نفسر إنه العالم تتعلق ب WWE مثل ما بتحضر series. It's a story. Every one of them has a character, which was a big challenge for me. لأن أنا ما كنت بعرف إنه when I interview these people, they're in character على الكاميرا. يعني هلا بخبرك قصة on the side. So العالم تتعلق ب WWE لأنه مثل سيري بدك تعرف شو رح يصير معه هذا جماعة الجي هلا بيتخانق مع هذا وبيتصالح مع هذا. It's like watching series in a fixed entertainment show.
Exactly.
Anyway, going back to هذا قصة الكاركتر, وقت بلشت شو هن 80 واحد 90 واحد, you're not gonna learn the character طبعا بشهرين. So بعد شهرين رحت على سامر سلام يلي مثل هو راسلمانيا. أنا عندي ليستة العالم هو اللي حعملون انترفيو, بس إنه in case إجا واحد هيك interview him, بس إنه I didn't really know them all. So بيجي عندي واحد كان اسمه R-Truth. هيدا apparently he has an invisible friend, but I really had no idea. So جاد بسأله أنا السؤال, بيطلع هيك بيحكي مع واحد, بيرجع لعندي يقول come on please I'm on camera ما في مهرب. ارجع اساله سؤال, ارجع يطلع هيك يحكي مع واحد, يرجع يحكي معي, بعدين قال لي why don't you ask my friend. So I had to play along. يعني اخر شيء عم بعمل انترفيو مع هوا وعم برجع, بس خلصت رحت عند البروديوسر قلت له ليك ما تحطني بقى بهيك مواقف. هلا I wouldn't do this mistake لأن صرت بعرفهم, بس انه back then to know the character of each it was very challenging.
That's crazy.
But it's an entire world on its own. يعني this is completely different than the sports we know. WWE is a completely different thing يعني, بس it's so huge. واللي عم بيعملوه السعودية هلا is like I don't know. يعني في WrestleMania يلي هو مثل سوبر بول تبع ايه, it's becoming bigger بالسعودية اللي عم بيعملوه. So it's massive as it's an empire يعني it's عن جد it's a world on its own.
بس it's only this WrestleMania ما هيك مش every WrestleMania حيكون بالسعودية obviously.
لا في ديل المضى مع WWE for 10 years إنه السعودية يستضيفوا 2 big shows واحد بالرياض واحد بجدة بس يعني the magnitude اللي عم بيعملوه فيه هذا الشوز هن سوبر ستارز من شايفين هيك شيء قبل. So it's becoming so big 60,000 واحد. And I remember so well أول ماتش صار بالبنات WWE بالسعودية. It was unannounced لأنه كانوا خايفين من ردة فعل الجمهور. I would never forget this. كنت بالملعب and طلعوا 2 ladies. It was the first ever match happening WWE بالسعودية. After the game 60,000 people بالملعب they were chanting this is hope. And it was so moving, so touching for everyone. هن البنات the superstars the American they were crying because it was so touching and it became a slogan WWE this is hope. And now just خلاص like again talking about barriers broken. It was هلا صاروا صاروا على الطرقات on billboards صاروا they're everywhere. So it's also like we came a really long way in the past years بالسباق بالعالم العربي.
I agree. مش بس barriers broken in a way كمان إذا بتفكري فيها. إذا حضرت ماتش إيران وأمريكا بالورد كاب لما خسروا الإيرانية بتشوف كل الأمريكان they're in a way after the game عم بيرجعوا يشجعون للعيبة and they're being there for them. It shows you إنه sports can connect not only nations مثل ما كنا عم نحكي قبل شوي not only one nation it can connect nations that are at war actually. So this is the beauty of sports as well. I love what Saudi is doing when it comes to WWE. مثل ما أنت عم تحكي بفتكر العالم العربي كله خاصة بعد مونديال قطر إذا بتشوف قديش كان successful مونديال قطر بفتكر العالم they're gonna start looking at sports و entertainment بالعالم العربي in a different way.
I think عن جد الورلد كاب أنا كنت موجودة وغطيت كذا شغلة. I was very positively surprised and in whatever way they did it some criticized them. They imposed the Arab world على العالم كله يعني and out of it we gained nothing but respect after this World Cup. So I really think it was one of the best World Cup organized. وكيف صارت حتى يمكن they criticized the fact that there was no alcohol or certain things which happen in every World Cup. I really think out of it we really imposed on everyone in the world a lot of respect to the Arab world out of the World Cup.
I agree. It was a great World Cup from a managerial point of view, organizational point of view أكيد بس حتى from a football point of view بفتكر final World Cup is gonna be unmatched.
I know صراحة اهتروا أعصابنا. I don't think I want to watch another one like this. I'm good with one.
هلا بتعرفي شو since we're Messi fans بفتكر now that he won everything أنا بالنسبة لي I'm not gonna have any pressure watching football anymore يعني for 4 years. أنا بتذكر آخر مرة يمكن باكي over a sporting event كان بال2014 لما خسر ميسي والأرجنتين ضد ألمانيا 1-0 جوتزي حط الجول
اللي كان عم بحمس لميسي جوتزي هو وابنه.
بفيك كل العالم كان عم بحمسوا لميسي كل العالم except كريستيانو رونالدو بس بتخيل كل
I don't know هلا ما حدا بيعرف شو كدرة ما حكي شيء ما صرح ما بنعرف.
I don't think so anyway. بتخيل كل العالم كان بدهم أصلا ميسي يربح. والحلو كمان كان بالفينال وورد كاب مش بس إنه it was entertainment at its finest في جوال في كل شيء. بتخيل it was the first time in so many years in so many different sports. أنا كتير بحضر sport in different obviously NFL باسكت فوتبول كل القصص. It was the first time نشوف 2 superstars probably أحسن 2 at their own craft اللي هن مبابي وميسي going against each other in a finals. يعني مثلا ما شفنا ليبرون جيمس against Kobe in a finals which is أنا I tweeted this before the World Cup finals إنه ميسي versus مبابي is what LeBron versus Kobe was supposed to be in a way.
Knowing their teammates on a normal day ميسي ومبابي بيلعبوا مع بعض.
اوكي فهمت شو قصدك.
No, it was, I think, يعني, I'm glad this was the final تبع الورلد كاب يعني. Currently they're the best 2 at the World Cup. They were the best 2 players and watching هيك final يعني. أنا هتروا أعصابي حضرته لحالي لأنه ما بدي لا حدا يشوفني بهالحالة ولا شيء يعني. بتبكي مبسوط تبكي زعلان تبكي in every possible way. So I think it was the best possible World Cup. لو بدها تطبط هيك ما بيطلع هيك.
It was written in the stars for Qatar. وحبيت شو كنت عم تقولها about criticism and there is always going to be criticism. I think the bigger you get in life for athletes, for journalists, reporters, حتى in events, there's always gonna be criticism in a way. بفتكر the successful story تبع قطر is gonna spread over the Arab world in a big way when it comes to sports. يعني هلا انت كنت عم تحكي مثلا about السعودية with WWE. عم تشوف هلا junior NBA in Abu Dhabi also. This is a big collaboration as well. Before talking about this when it comes to you, عبالي بس أعرف بعد شغلة WWE. حنا سألني السؤال وهيك it caught my attention. إذا شي نهار إجوا WWE وسألوك مثلا to actually play a game, would you do it?
No.
Why not?
I wouldn't wrestle. One, it doesn't fall under the umbrella of what I want to be. Like, I maybe to do it for a game, one match.
Hey, one match I'm talking. Heck, in a script, let's say.
Maybe I'll consider it because I want to know. Because I've been behind the scenes and I know how it goes. And I know مثلا Logan Paul اللي هو واحد من أكبر الانفلونسرز بالعالم. He played one of the biggest WWE matches هلا بالسعودية. But this guy has been training for like the entire year and he did one hell of a performance. Maybe I would do it for one match.
Okay.
Just to.
You would do it actually.
For one match. Maybe هلا لأنه تعرف هاي زرعت فيه تبع first ever. I would maybe do it, but it's not something I would like to do every single. No, it doesn't fall under the message I want out of what I do. No.
ليك عم بحس عليكي you love the fact and you're always gonna be the first ever. يعني أنت you're the first female تطلع على TV, the first female تاعت WWE. So
it was never a goal.
It's attractive. It's attractive to you.
It's just a challenge for me to just. Okay, it's never done. I want to do it. That's it. مش لأنه I want to be the first. Because if I see another woman doing it, I'd be as happy. But I just want to see this presence, whether through me or someone else.
Putting challenges and goals is important. ناتالي كنت عم تحكي هلا عن لوغان بول بس actually لوغان بول بفتكر بعد هالماتش مش طلع كله مكسر معه ACL
عمل ACL ايه مزبوط. I don't know إذا عمل عملية كان عم يحضر الفاينل تبع الورد كاب بس كمان I interviewed him. He's such a fun guy. طلع لابس العباية وقتها لأن كان بالسعودية. He's a cool guy. He's also a very young success story يعني Logan did it and as a boxer, as a wrestler, as an influencer he did well.
Not مش بالجونيور NBA بالNBA Abu Dhabi actually it really caught the attention of a lot of people and you were interviewing people like Vince Carter, Shaquille O'Neal who's one of my personal favorite. عبالي أعرف about your experience in NBA Abu Dhabi قد كانت حلوة وespecially أنه these are the guys بفتكر يلي أنت كنت growing up in basketball كنت تطلع على Vince Carter. I think that was the era مزبوط in the late 90s, early 2000s. With Shaquille O'Neal, who was the best to do it back then also. And now you're interviewing them.
Listen, أول شيء في شغلة كتير أثرت فيي بهيدي فترة شاك. The support I got from Lebanon وقتها ما بعرف. It's something that was يمكن صار وقتها عملت اللانش تبع طابة الورلد كاب. بس I did not expect to have all these people talking that I am interviewing Shaquille O'Neal. And it's something that really touched me so much. It put more pressure because like all eyes are on you. But it's something I appreciate a lot وكتير أثر فيي. So this is why I'm mentioning it. Interviewing Shaq, I think أنا ما كتير بحكي على Instagram. So before that, it was one of the few times that I made a video saying I will. And it showed, I was like a little girl speaking. كل الانترفيوز اللي عملتهم ب my career, I do them as a journalist, as a sports presenter. Interviewing Shaq and Vince, I did them as a fan without sounding or looking like a fan. But it was for me like I was just something فكرت فيه كتير حضرت له. هلا أنا بحضر لكل شيء. I have a process of how to do interviews. But it's one of those moments and I was looking forward. Like I've met so many celebrities. ما عندي هيدا. But to do this with these guys, it meant something very special.
But don't you think إنه there is هالرهبة in a way يعني أنت عم تقولي مثلا you've met a lot of celebrities. I'm pretty sure you did. You're someone إنه قاعدة مع رونالدو, all of these kind of people. بس مثلا for example بحس إذا you ever interview Michael Jordan الرهبة حتكون it's different.
Listen, Michael Jordan is in a category لإلي يعني it's the only thing that I'll do anything for. Michael Jordan, of course. Anything else ما بقلل من يعني these people have my entire respect. It's just you treat it differently during the interview. You can't act like a fan. The guy has to have some respect to you and has to look at you as a sports presenter, as a journalist. So I leave this for after. Shaq بس شفته عبطه which is something I don't do. Like when I first saw Shaq, I just gave him a hug because this is what I wanted to do as a kid. I just did it 30 years later. So I part of me was acting like inside of me was a fan. But by the end of the day, I have to act very much composed and in control of the interview. I know people are also watching this. It's not about me. It's about everyone else as well.
Exactly. You were talking قبل شوي كمان إنه you always need to keep your composure, especially when on stage. هلا بتذكر شغلة صارت معك and it actually took a big hit on social media. هي لما رونالدو كان عم بيقول إنه hopefully next year ما بيكون بالسقعة. قديش كانت حلوة in a way الإكسبوجر يلي أنت أخدتيها من ورا اللي قاله رونالدو وقديش إذا هيك looking back at it you didn't fall off script. You were able انه على السريع just to pick it up بدون ما تحسي انه لا there's something wrong with it لانه obviously انت مسقعه يعني
كنت متلجي كنت عم برجف. هو ما بلش هو قبل ما يطلع على ستيج رونالدو كان واقف قاعد تحت اول صف انا was freezing كنت تحت برج خليفه فكل ربع ساعه بتطلع على الفاونتن وكان في هواء حراره كان 16 او 17 فكان عم بيجي هواء علي ومي and I was freezing فهو شايف مع انه ما كنا مبين على عم بيضحك the entire show كنا عم بيحكي هيداك من تاني ميل هو عم بيطلع and he was laughing and I'm like what why is he laughing انه كريستيانو هيدا مش انه عم بيطلع على امي عم تحضرني يعني and then he got on stage to get the trophy عمل speech وهيك قال اخر انه I really hope guys you do this event next year in a warmer place because this lady has been freezing the entire night هلا it was a bit like on the spot انه I can't believe so I had to ask him something right after which I picked it up to listen even if I'm freezing I can still manage to ask you and I did بس اللي صار من بعدها يعني ساعة عملوني إنه جورجينا بتغار مني بمدريد ساعة عملوا إنه من هي اللبنانية اللي عطل همها رونالدو طلعت على كل شيء في محطات تخبر القصة and it was just one phrase بإثيوبيا حدا إجا فرجاني إنه كاتبين مقالة عن هيدا المومنت إنه who's this girl which is it was good publicity but it was just one sentence يعني
it's great publicity it's great
جورجينا ما بتغار مني ولا قريتني ولا بتعرف شيء عني يعني
you never know
it was just one sentence
you never know in that domain بس كتير حلو ناتالي out of all the superstars that you've interviewed in your life لأنه كن كتار يعني عم تقولي هلا this encounter with رونالدو مرة رونالدينو حط سيلفي هو وياكي you've danced with مارادونا بعرف انه مصورة مثلا مع كاكا all these big stars WWE as well all of these stars مين one star that surprised you أو فاجأك in a positive way
like in a positive way some surprise you in a negative way and it's some surprise you in a negative way because they come with attitude they come with a bit هلا بتفهموا نوات لأنه they live their life تعب بدنا ناخد سيلفي معك فينا نتصور فينا آخر شيء يمكن بدي أخلقهم the only I mean كل هو اللي سميتهم يمكن أنا I met them as a journalist but the one person that I met and I will always and never forget is Michael Jordan and it's a moment I will never forget in my life like كنت ب 2002 بمايكل جوردن كامب وكنا 600 كامبر ومايكل جوردن كان يجي كل يوم يعطينا lectures وكان في نهار انه that was the day where we get our picture with Michael Jordan بس مش رح يجوا واحد 600 campers so كنا نجي groups وثابت انا كنت بكامب قبل بهيوستن انا I lost my shoe انا وقتها كان معروف انه بضل لابسه اير جوردن ونايكي وما بعرف شو ما بعرف I got the new T-Mac shoes اللي كانوا اديداس وبضووا ابيض كلهم هيك ابيض وقاعده حده ثابت حده I was lucky بتشوف الصوره اذا بتشوفها شي مره بتشوف انه every like my entire arm ملزقه فيه هيك مثل ولد صغير ملزق فهو حس علي هيك نكزني وعلق اجره ودعس لي على صباطي انه قال لي T-Mac ها I'm a kid I'm 15 قلت له I forgot my shoe in Lebanon and then he's like Lebanon ها وبلش يحكي معي بس انه انا I was overwhelmed and I'm having a discussion with Michael Jordan like it was so I want to be self-conscious وبدنا نتصور وبدي انبسط وبدي أعبط ومش عارفة كيف which happened and then قال لي I'll see you later هيك and we took the picture and I left هلا ستفكر أنا later امتى I'm gonna see you later that day كان الليكتشر بالليل عم بيعملها عن الفري ثرو شوت و I had won the free throw competition of the camp بعد عندي اياها بالبيت التروفي وقال آخر الليكتشر إنه I'm gonna choose 3 people whoever scores will get my shoe 600 camper وكان بسانتا باربرا وبرد so ببلش بنقي واحد بنقي تاني بعد شوي actually he spots me from a bit far بيقول لي you إنه تعال shoot a free throw if you score you get my shoe and I would never forget أنا واقفة على فري ثرو لاين بندم عيشتي إنه وقتها ما كان في هذا التليفون إنه صورني وخد فيديو وهيك كان في هاي الكاميرا تبع زي هيك عرفت
الكوداك
إيه أنا تلبكت طلعتها وعطيتها للي حد هيك إنه حد another camper يعني قلت له please take pictures ما شفت مين هو ولا شو بيعمل ولا شيء ورحت تشوت هالفري ثرو هو في حد عم بيعمل لي بارازيت انه هو عم بشوش علي مايكل جوردن بس انه عم سيلف كونشس انا اذا مايكل جوردن عم بيعمل لي and then he said I think she's going to be our first winner انجا قصبت الرينج صراحه I didn't score the free throw رجعت تاخذ من اهم بس يكون هيداك صور he was Chinese and he did not answer
no way
yeah but you know what happened that's so fun on this one I have a picture that I don't dare to show and I want to mint it and sell it and you don't even find it on Google or anything. My coach during this camp for 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, ترويقة غدا عشاء كان معنا. It was in 2002 in August. He was not even drafted yet. It was LeBron James.
شو عم تحكي؟
I swear it was عندي صورة كان ليبرون قاعد معنا على الترويقة ما كان حدا بيعرفه. من بعدها he signed the $90 million deal with Nike after 2 months. I have pictures of Michael Jordan فرجيك اياهم على التليفون هلا بعدين of LeBron James قاعد مثل like a big fan قدام مايكل جوردن كانوا يلعبوا 5-on-5 باخر النهار and he was just there all the time بس انا ما بيهمني كان ليبرون جيمس ما بعرف مين هو كان بدي بس مايكل جوردن so it was one of the biggest regrets of my life انه انا ما تصورت معه حتى لليبرون جيمس and why would I like who is it back then he was a nobody so it was one of the things that I regret the most بحياتي.
And this is an amazing story حبيت كتير.
I'll show you the picture.
I want to لأن I'm a huge LeBron fan بس I would love to see that picture. ناتالي لأنه عم تحكي now about regrets. على البازر بيتر هلا أنا لما فوت على flight mode أختي ستيفاني كانت تسألني what's an advice that you would give to your younger self?
Wow. Nothing. Just don't give up because you'll make it. At so many points in my life, it wasn't easy. Especially my move to Dubai at the beginning, I went through a very hard time. I went through depression at some point, and it wasn't easy to me. I was close at some point أرجع لبنان and to just give up everything. And I just pushed it a bit more, and this is where I am today. So I have an arrow tattooed that for me I love this saying because بيقولوا بس an arrow قبل ما تطير لقدام بترجع على ورا. So this is how life is. So if I want to tell my younger self is just keep on going because you'll make it.
I think you should مش بس to your younger self to everyone actually to keep on doing it لأنه sometimes in life the distance left is so small يعني أنت مثلا لو كنت رحتي على دبي لو رجعتي أنت ما بتعرف إنه it's very small people give up at the end literally at the end when it's sometimes إنه خلاص just stick to the plan and don't give up so obviously this is a great example إنه لو أنت رجعت على لبنان قديش your whole life your whole career وانتبه مش ما عم جرب بيض معك تناجر بس بفتكر حتى the careers of a lot of women in the Arab world كانوا تغيروا لأنه those barriers يلي that were broken من وراكي they wouldn't have been broken.
They would have, maybe not by me because it was bound to happen. But I was blessed with opportunities. أنا ما بقول إنه أنا عملت شيء هذا غير ما كان قدر يعمله. I was blessed with opportunities that happened at the right time. I proved myself in certain places, and I just made use of them in a proper way. But I totally believe that there are a lot of also amazing women out there who can do what I did as well.
I do agree. Obviously, you need opportunities, but you need to be also ready for these opportunities, which you were obviously. طيب ناتالي a similar question that I was also asked a lot عم نط شوي على Q&A كنت أحكي بعد شوي عن الباسكت بس what's an advice that you would give to young female athletes in Lebanon?
تعرف هديك مرة ما بعرف ليه I was going through my interviews and the first interview عملته بتذكر عن يو تي في كان عمري شي 13 أو 14 سألتني نفس السؤال قلت لها بالعربي بتذكر إنه امنوا بحالكم لأنه بس إذا بتأمن بحالك بتوصل and this is exactly the same advice I keep on saying but what I tell them that the road is not going to be easy and you're going to be faced with a lot of challenges and it's في كتير أوقات ناس بتفشل مش لأنه بتفشل لأنه هي استسلمت بتفشل لأنه بتروح بالطريق الغلط وخصوصا بالفيلد تبعنا it's very tricky to stay on the right track to maintain a certain I wouldn't say reputation but to maintain a certain way of being seen, respected and viewed, because you're tested continuously to go the wrong way, to go the easy way, to go the short way. It's not easy. It's very challenging, and it requires a lot of no's at the cost of losing opportunities, and you have to know how to say no.
Not only in your domain, but Nathalie, I think women, especially Arab women, Lebanese women, they should learn to say no, regardless of opportunities, regardless of TV, not TV, anything else. When you don't want something, just say no. أنا قبل شوي كنت عم بسألك سؤال.
A lot of people, because they want something, they say yes. And sometimes it's the wrong way. Even if you want them something, you have to say no because it's the wrong way to get it. This is what
That's true. That's true. قبل شوي لما كنت عم بسألك السؤال about being surprised وانتي اللي في كتير they surprised you in a negative way. أول شغلة خطرت على بالي هي أنه maybe some of the stars they approach you in a sadly I don't want to say it but in a sexual way or in a non-professional way, let's say, and I'm pretty sure it has happened to you لأنه
I will not deny it. I will not deny it.
I'm pretty sure about it. So it's very important for people to say no. For girls actually, for guys as well, by the way. مش إنه and this is something we always talk about when نحكي about equality. لأنه كمان في مش الستيغما بس في هذه الشغلة يلي إنه if a guy approaches a girl in a different way, it's sexual assault. But if a girl does it for a guy, it's cute, it's hot.
No, it's as equal. I totally disagree with this. عم نحكي صلنا ساعة بwomen وبيهم barriers وما بعرف شو, but it's vice versa because everything that applies to her also applies to him. So معك حق كمان 100%.
Exactly. Saying no is very important. Nathalie, آخر subject for today. We want to talk هيك quickly about Lebanese basketball. ما بعرف إذا بعدك بتتابع كتير أو لا, بس صعب تتابع أصلاً إنه ما في exposure على Lebanese basketball when it comes to women sadly. The league isn't doing very well. بفتكر على أيامك. على البنات. لا الشباب is doing well. Going well. Obviously في exposure عليها. بس when it comes to girls, last summer جانا تأهلنا على الكلاس A على level A بالAsian tournament. الفرق النوادي you have only 2 big teams. It's not on TV. The sponsors obviously are not really interested in the game anymore. لو كانت ناتالي رئيس اتحاد, what would she do to improve Lebanese basketball in Lebanon?
You start with the grassroots. It's where everything starts. نحن وصلنا على اللي وصلنا لأنه ما كان عنا exposure, ما كان عنا المعاشات اللي عم تنتهى. Now basketball went back to what it was when we were there. So we were not in a better position when we were as good. بس لأنه تعودوا على هيدا الشيء it's hard to go back. بس today ما فيني أقول لك أنا كرئيسة اتحاد ما بعرف شو بعمل, بس it always starts with the grassroots. It always starts young. It always starts with the academies. It always starts with إذا بدي أعمل منتخبات بدهم يبلشوا من صغار. وبرجع بقول لك نحن وصلنا على اللي وصلناه. يمكن هيدا التيم اللي برجع بقول لك عنه شدا, نيلة, تمارا, شيرين, أنا, نسرين دندن. نسرين يمكن كانت أكبر, بس we grew together from نحن وصغار لا اللي وصلنا عليه اليوم. The girls كتار منهم عم بيعملوا مجهود فردي. يعني أنا بعرف من أصحاب البنات most of them they practice on their own so much to make it to where they are. لأنه ما بحياتنا رح نقدر نعيش من الباسكت كبنات, ولا هون ولا بغير بلد عربي. يمكن الشباب بيقدروا يعملوا هيدا الشيء. نحن كبنات it's always going to be semi-professional or almost a hobby. So it will always come from their individual efforts, which always came from our individual efforts and how much you can do. بس رح يوصل محل ما رح تقدر. So the talent has to be built not at a very late stage, لأنه بعدين ما عنده كتير وقت يحطه. So it has to start really, really early. And then this is how you build a talent enough under these circumstances يقدر يعطيك اللي أنت يمكن تطلبه بالقليل اللي عم تعطيه.
I love what you said. What's next for Nathalie in her future plans? What's next? I ما بعرف مين خبرني أو يمكن سمعتك عم تحكيها أنه you have your own course by the way in journalism أو شيء هيك.
Yeah. It's funny. I was approached by an academy to do my own online course, and it's always funny because أنا بقول إنه أنا ما تعلمت المهنة. أنا عن جد هي المهنة اختارتني وما عندي شيء علمه. I have just my experience to share and how it happened and what I learned. So I did develop a course that in it I share everything I learned, all the challenges I faced, how it started من إنه ما بحكي عربي, typing ما بعرف أعمل, لا أقدر أعمل كل اللي عملته. So yeah, I do have. This is not what I had. Like it's part of the things I want to do. What's next is to pay it forward. I am who I am because of this game. and I have a lot of responsibility to spread what I did in terms of influencing women, youngsters, basketball players. So I do have a lot of plans to do. Some are in the pipeline, some will be done. But yeah, just paying it forward to what I was given.
شو ال ultimate goal بس يعني يعني هيك if you look at your ambitions in a way where ما بدي أقولك where do you see yourself بس إنه in 20 years شو بتكون ناتالي مامو عم تعمل؟
Listen, that's a tough one. بعد 5 سنين بعرف شو رح أعمل بس إنه اليوم my ultimate goal مثل ما كل شيء بعملته بحياتي I just want to be better than the person I was yesterday. لأنه اليوم بتطلع okay NBA checked ما بعرف شو checked.
Exactly, but this is why I'm asking. But في شيء to check, I
no,
think.
there will always be. There's always be. I want to go bigger. I want to host the Ballon d'Or maybe one day.
Okay, that's
I want to
nice.
host the FIFA Best. I want to, I don't know, maybe be on a court in NBA, not just in Abu Dhabi. There's always bigger to do. Maybe I want to do stuff for me. Maybe I want to create a movement for women, which I have in mind. بس إنه I don't believe بحياتي إنه في حدا وصل بولا شيء بالحياة that you can reach to a place when ما بقى فيك تعمل شيء. You got no, I didn't. It could be what I am today could be just the beginning of what I might become in 10 years. So ما من النوع اللي خلاص إنه okay I did all these things. But maybe someday, what are we 2022? Maybe I'll say that's what the beginning of what I've become in 2030. So I don't know, but I have plans in mind. Some I can disclose, some are there's a big plan happening in Dubai. I cannot disclose it. I hope it happens because it's big for the region, not just for me. It's big for basketball. If it happens, I'm going to be having a big role in it. I simply cannot talk much about it.
I don't know why
you're smiling. So we'll see. We'll come back. I'll come back to you. But we'll see.
I think I know what we're talking about. بس ناتالي اللي قلتيه على البالون دور is exactly my question. So وقت كنت عم بسألك السؤال what's your ambition? So it's very obvious إنه you would love to host the Ballon d'Or مثلا. It's something in your goals, in your short-term goals at least.
It's not something حطيته على my list. My goal is to look back and say I was a leading figure in women's sports. And I think
but you are already.
I know, but I like يعني there's so much more left to do. Like there's so much like يمكن هلا وراي في a group of 10 people, but I want to look back and say like listen, I influenced 1,000 people, 10,000 people. I receive messages من عالم and it means so much to me إنه أنا بدي أعمل هيك لأنه أنت ما بعرف شو you're my role model, you're ما بعرف شو. Of course it doesn't get to me to a way where بتكبر بعقلتك because I don't believe you have to be somebody to be a role model because your father could be your role model. It's what you choose to see out of a person that makes him your role model لإلك بركي أنا ماني شي لحدا تاني. But I would love to just look back and say I made a change, I influence people, I can share a story that can be influential to a lot of people. So, and I don't think I've done everything. There's so much. يمكن البالون d'Or is one of the things. It could be other stuff. It could be something for me. It could be there's so much to be done that I want to do. Now صار لي بقول هيك بس كان عندي سنة الحمد لله that I didn't have time to do anything. But I have certain projects in mind that I want to influence more the region and sports. Women's sports.
I hope you do that. Nathalie, في عنا quick 5 questions بالQ&As. Before we go to it, if you didn't like and subscribe yet, ما تنسوا تحت على اليمين click the like button. We're also now on Patreon, so if you want to support the channel كمان, the link is down in the description part. Q&As, 5 questions, really nice questions by the way. Some people you might know, some people not. Bex, Rebecca عقل نوجه لها تحية. She's playing great now. She's in Europe. One of the best, if not the best to ever do it. Also, in a different way, كمان she's paving the way for a lot of female athletes, breaking barriers as well. تسألك, if you were to stop working today, would you say I have done it all or you still have something you want to accomplish?
أول شيء بدي أوجه تحية كتير كبيرة لباكس. Bex was someone I met. She was a very young age. Her mentality, her strength here is something I respect so much, and exactly what I've been telling you. Like تتوصل ضحت كتير يعني ما عم تلعب هيك. أنا بشوفها كيف بتتمرن, بشوفها the hours she put in. She's also an example. She's also a role model. When I was young, I relate to what she has become, and she's maybe the best who ever played the game or made it. So what she's doing for not just Lebanese basketball, for Arab basketball is big. So a lot of respect for Bex, who's before anything like a younger sister لإلي. And it always means a lot لأنه Bex always comes back and is like I look up to you, and like it's in a different way يعني. But I understand where it comes from. It's all here. Going back to her question, as I look back and say I look back and I say I accomplished a lot. Did I accomplish everything? No, at all. Like there's so much to be done on every possible level. Above anything is becoming a better person for me. Like I don't think I'm at a place where I could say I'm the best I am. There's so much to be done on every possible level.
Samer Naoum بيسألك few questions. One of them is أول شيء great career on court and off court. Multiple questions. How concrete is Dubai having a EuroLeague team and hosting a Final Four tournament? What is your involvement with the team to be formed?
Who have you been talking to, Samer Naoum? And how do you know all this information? How concrete? Okay, hosting the Final Four for the season, it's too late. It's not going to happen this year.
I think for the next 2 years actually started. This year is going to be in Lithuania and then one after in Berlin. So for the next 2 years, the Final Four is set.
Yeah, how concrete? I mean, it was already talked about that had negotiations happened with the EuroLeague. I was part of it, yes. What will I be? I cannot say. It's a big shot. It's not an easy process because they're not just looking at getting a wild card. Dubai is looking at becoming a shareholder in the EuroLeague.
Oh, nice.
So it needs the approval of all the teams, and it's a long process that's going in the right way, I would say. But it's still too early to tell.
The Arab world is going crazy with sports. I love this.
Yeah, and seeing an Arab team and Arab players playing in the EuroLeague, that's going to be also very big.
It is huge. مش بس from a player point of view, from a coach's point of view, from a managerial point of view, it's going to open up a lot of
مش بس انت
jobs.
تخيل عندك ملعب بالعالم العربي كل جمعة which is going to be probably the Coca-Cola Arena عم بيتحول لملعب باسكت وعم بيجي عندك ريال مدريد وبرشلونة وCSKA وما بعرف مين عم بيلعبوا بقلب دبي every week, and Dubai is going also to the other part of the world, so it's very big. It's not an opportunity on the local level as in just to Dubai. It's an opportunity to grow basketball in the entire region.
This was the idea of David Stern when he was commissioner in the NBA, and يكون عنده فريق أوروبي inside the NBA. So basically they play 41 games in the States, 41 games in Europe also. So a normal team, تخيل مثلا ريال مدريد, who's literally inside the NBA. So إذا بتزبط it's big for the region.
It's a big it needs time. It's on the right track. It needs a lot of مثل كل شيء يعني في كتير technicalities, في كتير شروط, في كتير هيدا. Once they comply, it will happen.
I hope it works. سؤال الثاني. Being a VC and moderator for multiple shows, events, special events, did you consider moving out of the region, and did you get offers already?
I think he meant MC or VC.
VC.
Moving out of the region إنه روح أقعد برا. هلا صراحة I did receive offers. The offer of going to the States, whether WWE or even opening discussions with the NBA or stuff like that. حتى وقت جاني offers من beIN Sports كان مفروض روح على قطر و part of it بأمريكا for the NBA. I was not ready to do so back then for different reasons. كل روحت على دبي يمكن بلشت مش for anything. I fell in love and I went with the person I was with back then. Right now, it will depend on so many things. It's something that requires a lot of calculations. If it's worth it, in a way, I might consider it. But في كتير قصص مش بس I don't come alone in life. You have a family behind, and it's a common decision for everyone's best. So we'll see.
I think this question, the third question, بيلحق اللي قلتي هلا. Would you sacrifice paycheck for a career in Europe or the US commentating on basketball games? بفتكر سامر knows a lot about you.
I don't know. I don't سامر.
هلا كل شيء عم بتجاوبيه عم بيطلع السؤال الثاني.
إذا في شيء بده يعرضه من بعده هيدا. Listen, for me, this job has never been about money, and there's so much I've done for free, especially in Lebanon, just for the love of sports and for the love of being a part of this. It has never about money, really. There's so much I do. I wouldn't say for free, but I don't negotiate. And everybody knows I'm really bad at this. Sacrificing a paycheck, I would for something. It depends. Like I wouldn't say yes. It will depend on what and where it can take me and what will make me. شو رح تزيد على حياتي أو لا. It's a decision to be thought of.
Last question for Samer, actually.
Thank you. ما بعرف شو بيعرف بعد سامر.
What do you miss to become the ultimate role model for young female athletes and sports entrepreneurs?
What do I miss?
What do you miss? What does Nathalie miss in a way? What attribute or anything else?
Listen, exactly. هلا من شوي كنت عم بقول لك إنه you don't need to be somebody to be a role model for someone. Because if I can be a role model to you and I can be a nobody to someone else. So it's what you choose to take out of a person. What do I miss to certain people? Nothing. What do I miss to a lot of others? A lot of things, which I don't know because I don't know what they're looking for. But what I have today can make me a role model. What do I miss? From me to be my own role model? A lot. Because I'm very tough on myself. I'm very challenging. I want every day to be better than yesterday. So I still miss a lot. Like I need to be challenged in different territories, in different areas. Sometimes بتتعود على شيء بتحس صار your comfort zone and then بحطوك بمحل تاني and you don't succeed in the same way. So I wish to be challenged in different areas and different places and maybe then I'll become a role model to another category of people.
That's true. 3 more questions. Nathalie Mamo, who's a sports psychologist, by the way. كتير انبسطت لما
and a good friend as well.
Okay, so, that's great. I didn't know that. Okay.
We played together for فترة.
Jad. Yeah. Okay. So after a long, successful career in basketball, what was, in her opinion, one mental skill that she was able to take from that experience and apply it so she can excel in her professional career?
Discipline. There's nothing like it. I mean, بالbasketball you require a lot of discipline لأنه بكل شيء I think everything falls under discipline. The commitment, the sacrifice, the will, everything you want to do falls under discipline. And if you take this وبتطبقه بحياتك بشو ما كان, like you need to have the will to make it. Otherwise, I didn't know how to type in Arabic. But now I'm one of the leading figures presenting sports in Arabic. I didn't know how to do a lot of other things. And it required a lot of discipline. I spent 4 years of my life 4:30 الصبح بسوق على أبو ظبي up and down. I did a lot of like it was never very easy. Maybe it got easier with time, but it was never easy and there were so many sacrifices that you have to do and it just requires a lot of discipline.
And dedication also.
And dedication, for sure.
Wasim Zaidan بيسألك how you can transfer your personal international achievements into our national level in terms of strategies to develop Lebanese basketball.
To develop the Lebanese basketball. I think this question resembles what you asked me, is what is it that we do. أنا I see برا قد بيصير في اهتمام بالصغار, قد في unfortunately في كتير investment بيصير, يعني sports requires a lot of money and nothing can be done cheaply anymore. Sports technology is evolving in a way where you do need investment, you do need money, you need the right people and knowledge has become at a price. يعني اليوم الكوتش اللي كان يعرف يدرب من 20 سنة is no longer capable of keeping up with what has sports become today. And مش بس الكوتش, الtrainer, الfitness trainer, الnutritionist, الpsychologist, it all falls like under sports technology and science and it requires a lot of money and investment. And if you don't have this, you cannot compete. You really cannot take the game to a different level. And this is money falls under sponsors, under exposure, under TV rights, under so many things. So it's an entire strategy that requires the right people and the right knowledge. I don't know if we have it. They're doing a good job maybe right now, but it still needs a lot of knowledge that has to come from abroad. لأنه we're still a bit limited عنا هون بلبنان. And the problem is they think they know everything and I don't know how open they are to incorporating other stuff. There's so much to be done on the mentality of viewing things.
بفتكر mentality قلتيها هلا, you're right on point انه we think we know a lot but we don't know much.
It's true. No, we don't know much. I mean, حتى when you know a lot,
you can still learn.
You can still learn and there's still so much more to learn. It's just the mentality, you accepting the fact that you don't know enough. And this is where everything successful starts. It's just knowing that you haven't done enough, you haven't accomplished enough, you don't know enough. And this is when you become a sponge to learning, to making it, to reaching places in life. And federations fall under these things, people, everything, investors, كل شيء.
That's true. Last question for today. Eli Ibrahim بيسألك, as a big fan of yours and being a sports enthusiast, I would like to ask you, what shall I do to become a sports journalist or analyst or anything related to sports, knowing that I graduated in marketing?
Ola. Listen, what Eli اسمه?
Eli.
I graduated in food science and management. So I've never done sports, I've never studied sports. أنا بعتذر أوقات من كل اللي درسوا هالمهنة إنه أنا I made it and I have never studied it. So really it has nothing to do sometimes. Sports is a language on its own. يعني what does he have to do in this country? Unfortunately, opportunities are very rare and you have to sometimes push on your own, get the right opportunity. Sometimes you don't get it and you keep on pushing. And I really know a lot of people who are in this country عندهم potentially يكونوا كتير محلات برا and they never got the right. One of them is the person who taught me everything about presenting. هو أنا بالنسبة إلي جورج سويدي واحد من أحسن السبورتس presenters بلبنان. أكيد مش عم بحكي عن غياس because غياس شدته مجروحة شد مجروحة فيه in terms of commentating بس opportunities are very rare بهذا البلد و unfortunately المهنة is not well paid I want to say to choose to have it here and خصوصا الصحافة so it's a hard path. It's not an easy one but I understand his passion because once you want it bad and you don't want anything else so I hope he just gets this right shot and he just scores it because it can take him to a lot of places.
Nathalie Mamo, what an episode صراحة. أول شيء بدي أقول لك thank you not only for coming but for paving the way for Lebanese women, for females, for Arab women also, breaking barriers مثل ما كنت عم تحكي. You're an amazing person to talk to. Your basketball knowledge, your sports knowledge كمان is amazing. I think this episode is gonna be great because of the things that you said. I'm happy and we tackled different situations about opportunities, about depression, about how you were so close to quit and not to quit. A dish, sometimes people quit early on. All I want to say is في مرة بتذكر سامي كنت عم تقولي شيء ما بدي هيك أقولها على الغلط بس what was the success factor حدا سألك what was your success factor and you said it was me. Now I do understand why you said that. I love what you said and you were your own success factor. Keep paving the way, keep doing you. I'm happy and what سألتك about ambitions and goals you said that you actually have more goals. You're someone who achieved a lot but still عم بحس انه in your own mind you feel انه you're still at
I'm still hungry.
You're still hungry. You're probably hungrier than you were before, which is great.
Because ما في شيء أصعب من to succeed is to maintain success.
Exactly.
And now all eyes are on you and you can't disappoint because sometimes you reach the top and you don't last much up there and people are unmerciful. So you can be a hero today and then 2 years you're nobody. So I don't take this for granted.
This is sports in a way. كنت بقول لك إياها وسبقتينا about the analogy of being to the top, going to the top. So going to the top is not the hard part. Staying at the top is the hard part. عم نشوفها كتير with athletes nowadays. ما حنسمي obviously بس عم نشوفها كتير with athletes who sometimes age is a factor. Sometimes them being comfortable
strength.
Exactly, getting comfortable kamena is another factor. So staying on top for a long period of time, this is very hard and this is always my argument when I talk about Messi or Ronaldo, even Tom Brady in NFL and they've been doing it for so long. It's actually impressive. ما بعرف قديش العالم يعني ما بيعرفوا بهالموضوع انه winning.
بس فيني اقول لك شيء العالم ما بترحم and take the example of Cristiano Ronaldo. This guy has given sports so much. There is no doubt that he is one of the greatest football players to have ever played the game. And today, one interview, I don't know, crying his way out of a court, and people are starting to look at him, انكسر Ronaldo. I'm a Messi fan, but I respect sports so much that you cannot disrespect a guy who's given through زعرج شوي. رح يعرج، رح يوقف، رح يخسر، رح يوقف يلعب منيح. But it's his right because he's human.
But this is cancel culture كمان. يعني إذا بتشوفي for example Kyrie Irving بال NBA, he had a comment about Jews. And everyone canceled him. Nike canceled him.
Kanye West as well. Same thing.
بس Kanye West is way worse صراحة. يعني Kanye West he deserves to be cancelled. بس قصدي إنه sometimes when you're an athlete لأنه مثل ما كنت عم تحكي قبل شوي بالأبزود إنه there's a microscope on everything that you do. When you can influence millions of people, أكيد this microscope is gonna be even bigger. So I do understand where people are coming from criticizing Ronaldo. لأنه to be honest, Ronaldo lately has had the Piers Morgan مثلا interview. That was a bad one.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
The way he acted in the World Cup also مع الجول تبع Bruno Fernandes and then emailing FIFA إنه they want the goal to be scored. It's about him being a better teammate.
It showed a side of him that was covered for a long time.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
But yet again, you cannot neglect everything he's given sports through هيدا.
الحلو بالسبورت كمان إنه people forget quickly. So I think هلا if he actually
إذا طلعت off air for a bit, it's a very unfaithful. بينسوك العالم.
That's true. This is why you always need to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Nathalie Mamo, thanks again.
Jad, thank you. I want to thank you, and I want to thank, respect to everything you're doing. You're opening a platform to a lot of athletes to speak up and to talk about sports because it's much bigger than نحن يمكن معودين عم نشوف الجيرزيز هون نشوف ريبيكا وروني واللي رستم والعراقجي على الملعب and you look at them as just players, but behind every player there's a person, and it's amazing that through this everybody's discovering the person and what they go through because it requires people behind becoming champions.
Exactly. في شغلة قال لي إياها هاي قلي كل مرة I want to end with it إنه basketball is not who we are, it's what we do. Yeah. So behind every athlete مثلك مثلا when you were an athlete there are people and humans who have their own stories who have different ambitions maybe. مش كل العالم يعني sports in a way وخاصة هلأ إنه جايين على الديربي on Monday بين حكمة ورياضة وقت العالم بيسألوني مثلا بقول لهم إنه it's just another game. It is just another game. It's not pressure. وقت حدا يسألني مثلا about the pressure كنا قبل شوي عم نحكي أنا وياك about the stress. It's not pressure. For me sports is not pressure. Sports is a way to entertain people. Obviously we want to win. If we lose it's not the end of the world. ما في شيء حرزان يصير في مشاكل بين اللبنانية بين بعضهم for example خاصة بماتش ديربي let's say where it's a long season أصلا. So it's not pressure. Pressure for me is people يلي مثلا عنده عائلة مثل الصبي بندر بفتكر كانت قليلة إنه مش قادر مثلا يدفع لبيه مثلا medical bills تبع بيه. This is pressure. But sports is not pressure. It's here to actually unite people, to entertain people in a way. So yes, I love what you said in the end. I love what Haik said back then also. Best of luck for you. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Jad, so much.
Nathalie, was a pleasure.
Same.